So I don't know about you guys, but I like soup. I love to eat soup. I don't know what it is, but I do. I might be the only one in my family that loves soup as much, but I digress. So when I make soup, I love to use my own broth. And if you have one of these big guys, or even one of these guys, you can make your own broth. So today, that's what we're gonna do, is make some broth. This is actually one of the cans that I have previously canned before of my broth. I love the dark richness that making your own broth provides. You not only have the nutrients that go into each can, but you also have the collagen and everything from the bones that we use. I collect bones. Anytime I roast a chicken or any kind of meal that involves bones, I will keep the bones, throw them in a Ziploc bag and toss them in the freezer. And I will keep them there, and I also keep all my vegetable scraps. I will peel my potatoes, my carrots, and the skins of all my onions, and I will collect and keep all of those and throw them in the freezer. So this is what my collection looks like. So they're not frozen anymore, but as you can see, there's bone and skin, cartilage, all that yummy goodness in this bag. I took it out of the freezer yesterday because we just went grocery shopping and needed some more space. So I went in and stuck it in the refrigerator to let it defrost. And now it's a big squishy mess. But as you can see, I've also got like some bell pepper scraps, some cilantro, and bones, carrot tops. As long as it's not moldy or anything like that when you go to cut pieces off, then you can just throw them in here and make your own broth. So let's get started. So typically my setup is I unplug my toaster, move it out of the way, make a little space here so I can put my big monster cooker here and not worry about it being in the way. Plugged in, and I typically set it at just 200, and that way it will stay nice and hot. Typically I do this once my bags are full, but I needed the extra space in my freezer, so we're just going to go ahead and get this process going a little early. So I spread all of it out just evenly in the bottom of the roaster, and then I fill it till it's just barely covering everything with water. All together, we're just gonna set this back out of the way, and here in about 24 plus hours, we'll see where it's at, and we'll get our broth all canned up. Okay, all of our scraps have been cooking for about 35 to 36 hours, and then first thing this morning I went ahead and just turned it off so it could start cooling down. I don't like handling things that are boiling hot. Scarring scares me. So we're gonna go ahead and get this turned around, and I can show you the process to getting everything filtered through. So first things first, we've got some water in here, just enough to cover our jars once they're filled. We're gonna go ahead and get it going so that it can start heating up, because it will take it a while we fill up the rest of our jars. All right, so my process, you guys, very easy. I just get my strainer, my handy cheesecloth, so it gets all the little tiny bits as well over a big giant bowl. And then I simply pour everything through it. we go. So according to my big handy bowl, we've got right at 4 quarts. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill my jars and get them stuck in the water. Some people like to go ahead and stick theirs in the refrigerator overnight just so they can take that fat off the top. But I prefer to just skip that and leave it in because, you know, fat is flavor, so. You want to wipe it down, make sure that you get a good seal. Finger tight. All right, now it's time for a bath. So my water is starting to heat up, so I'm just gonna throw a cloth down in the bottom. That's gonna prevent the jars from shaking around too much and possibly busting. So in we go. So there's a lot of people saying that you have to process for meat times, but I disagree with that theory. I think I'm along the lines of the theory that it's through the density of whatever is going to be in the jar. And since this is just liquid, you don't need to process for meat times, in my opinion. So I'm going to get it up to a full boil. It will start the canning process and go for 30 minutes, and then we'll turn it off and let it cool down on its own, and then we'll be ready to take them out. Okay, they are done processing. We processed for a full 30 minutes at a high boil, and now I took the lid off and I let them rest about 10 minutes, and now it's time to choke them and get them out. So very carefully, we don't want to drop or spill any of the hot water on us. And we're just gonna stick them in the corner, put them in timeout for 24 hours. And then after that, they'll go into the permanent spot until I use them. And there we go. Homemade broth for pennies.